Black Spring with Autumn on your Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and this is a mobile live stream. I just want to bring up a couple of things that are, I just want to bring up a couple of things that I think are brewing. I think that we are witnessing, or there's all kinds of things going on in the atmosphere. I mean, literally all kinds of things going on in the atmosphere. Air quality sucks. I think the summer, I called it the summer of descent back in 2019, I believe it was. I think it was the summer of descent. And 2019 is what I referred to it as. But it wasn't very long. The summer of descent, less than 9 months later, we were dealing with a global situation, and a global demic, if you will. But I think this summer, because it's interesting how politics and all of this is going to brew. We're brewing there's a gumbo that's brewing right about now. And that particular gumbo is going to include the selection season. It's going to include, whether you want to say protesters, bad actors. It's going to include so-called the people that are, we're not even sure who's in the country, by the way. It's going to include these so-called college protesters. It's going to include the bad actors, whatever, and the DNC is going to descend on Chicago, which I think that's where the simmering is going to take place, or as a nation, the boiling of the frogs, so to speak. I think that's where things are gonna manifest in the summer. I say something similar to that every summer, but this summer it just seems like it's ripe. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of opposition going on. There's protests going on, whether you think it's lawful or legal or whatever. You've already got these things simmering in the pot, okay? But what will it be used for? Will it be a tool is it just going to be a matter of disruption for the DNC? Or is it going to be a tool to crack down on Americans, to usher in some martial law or something? I think conditions are right for quite a few things to manifest. But I do think that it's going to be a summer in which many things are going to come to a head. This Trump, the all occasion whatever with the Trump case, or whatever else they're going to pull out of their hat for him. All of that, to me, is going to be dumped into this simmering pot of gumbo. Okay, sprinkle a little of this, sprinkle a little of that. You've already got the communities. I mean, there's so much, as I'm using the term, intersectionality in the city of Chicago. To me, it's ridiculous. Okay, it's going to be a perfect atmosphere, I think, for something to pop off, for the lack of a better word. Okay, I really do. I don't know what that is. I don't profess to be prophetic. I don't profess to be soothsayer or any of that, but I'm just saying, just look at history. You don't get this much. You gotta have tension, okay? In politics, there has to be tension, but there's also, because real people and real lives are being gambled with, there has to be release, right? Tension, release. That's everywhere. Okay, but I do believe that the summer is going to be, the tension is going to be even greater. Are they going to be able to, you know, are we going to make it to the quote selection season in November? I don't know. But I think a lot of things can happen in November, and I think they're going to capitalize on that because there's so much tension and there's so much, you know, this is a powder keg already. We don't even know who's in the country, for crying out loud. Gary Gage, how are you? Real Mad TV, how are you? So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm just thinking that there's just so much, you know, you got some people that are, you know, they want to protest the DNC. They wanted to protest it anyway. But it's also, with all of the things that are going on with this gumbo, it's also, to me, it's almost like it's a unifying, there's a lot of opportunity in there for people to, dare I say, maybe not unify, but like-minded people won't realize that they have more in common than they think. And of course, that's not what they want. They want the division. There will be a division, but there's also going to be more common out. There's going to be more common ground. I think it's going to be the opposite. It's going to have the opposite effect of what they want to do. But I do think it's going to be tense, and I think anything can happen. Violence, I do believe it's going to, the situation with the quote immigrants or illegals, whatever you want to spend on that. That was the first swell in Chicago, but then with this whole situation with the Gaza, blah 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 blah, that's another thing that's anti-Biden. So I really think that Chicago could be a dangerous place in the summer for the DNC. So yeah, but I think the conditions are right for something to pop off, or the word that they're just throwing. To me, the word democracy is becoming code. It's code for something else. It's disingenuous as hell by the English language itself. And I've even told you guys about that. What was it? You know, everybody quotes. They love to quote the futuristics. You know, George Orwell, 1984. Well, hey, he himself called out the use of the word democracy, and I do think it's code. It's code. It's pre-predictive programming. Whatever it is that you hear over and over and over, the overusage of words, the more disingenuous it is to me. Okay, but those aren't the only codes. Those aren't the only codes out there. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's gonna get dirty. It's not gonna be clean. Hey, nobody ever said, I said gumbo. Nobody ever said gumbo was clean eating. It's definitely a lot of flavors going on, but nobody said it was clean. Not clean eating in there. Depends on how dirty are you gonna make it. Well, I think there's plenty of dirty ingredients. There's plenty of dirty elements. So we'll see which one's going to prevail. I think is the greater question. So I do think, unfortunately, we as a nation, we're pretty docile and pretty demoralized. They've been very successful with that. And yeah, and to me, all of those D's equal destabilized. We can be destabilized consciously, and so we're just kind of on a lull. So I don't know if there's anybody out here that's from the Chicago area. If anybody that I know, there's at least one YouTuber that's saying that he's actually going to cover the NC. I don't know how. I mean, that in itself, the whole concept of that sounds interesting, because I would imagine if some of the major net go out there, oh yeah, they'll be did back in the summer of 19, summer of love. They will end up standing out there and buildings burning down behind them, but this is mostly peaceful. Or maybe they won't because it's anti-Biden and that narrative. So maybe they won't believe that the DNC is of it alone. Just cover. They've already started assembling. They might like White House and all that. You guys remember that scene? They'll end up putting Bob White around whatever facility they're going to use, and the people will start protesting probably a week or so, or maybe even before then. They might protest all summer. You throw a little bit of Soros funding in there. You gotta. I'm just saying. This is patterns, okay? This is patterns of what we've seen in the past. To me, it almost, peaceably assemble. I don't know how that's going to work out. I really don't know. I think there will be more coverage. There will be more coverage of what's going on outside than what's going on inside, is what I think. So we'll see what happens then. Let's see who's here. Gary Gage. Thank you so much. Gary Gage. I haven't been on. I've been on, but it's been like many rants or whatnot. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna go away from that for just a second. But AI is the other thing. They just wanna keep treating AI if it's some type of savior or whatever. But see, there again, to me, this is more like, what is it, the problem, reaction, solution kind of deal. They'll create something that they'll say, look how AI is helping kids get on the bus. Oh, AI is helping schools find bus drivers. Because AI is going to save everything, right? No. It's not. I'm sorry. I've said this before, but AI is not going to save education. AI is not going to save institutions. It's not. To me, it's just kind of like a Trojan horse, for which they want to insert all of this into institutions in our lives. But in fact, it's actually going to make the human being lazier, because there's a lot of lazy culture going on. Lazy. And then it's going to leave gaps. Like the gaps that it's leaving already is just, it keeps the functional illiterate, it grows the functional illiterate population, in all honesty. It's just going to grow the functional illiterate population. People doing less. If AI does more, the more that AI does, the less you actually think. And then like AI shows up in every search. Your search bar is now a hot button for AI, which I never co-signed on that. No, I don't need AI to help me find anything. No, I know what I'm looking for. If I know what I'm looking for, it's just a matter of is the information out there. But I can also see AI suppressing information. So that's it. You know what I mean? It's just not, who can trust AI? The same people that are telling you it's going to improve your lives are the same ones that put things out there to destroy your lives. How long before you have an AI sergeant at arms showing up in council meetings? But now, because as a matter of fact, I watched that last Chicago City Council meeting, and you had freaking AI up there reading the rules. I guess, for lack of a better phrase, reading the rules of engagement or reading the rules of decorum before the meeting. Before the meeting. Well, you're going to have an AI press secretary next. But listen. To say all that brings me to, there's a stream that I want to do, and I think it's based on The Economist. There was somebody that came onto the channel that told me to have a look at it, and I've looked at it, And it's got, of course, it's got the red and blue, but it's also got black and white. I'm going to show that. I guess that's a stream that I want to do, because it's kind of complex. But to me, it's also kind of showing, projecting the future. It projected the future of politics for the 2024 year. But you have to see it. I'll put it up. When I do this stream, I'm going to show you, and I guess, it's going to look like a diagram, but it shows red, blue, and then black and white. It's showing currencies. It's showing AI. It looks like AI is going to be somehow merged. They're getting ready to merge. This is my assertion, and this is without me showing you the diagram. The AI, the currency, the red team, blue team, black and white, it's all going to be, I think it's all going to be fused together. It shows there's bust or silhouettes of national leaders, international leaders. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's intriguing. It's very, very intriguing. But it's more like, it's like decoding, like decoding. But like I've said this, that red and blue make purple, which is a pretty primary lesson, or at least it used to be. And that's why I don't really carry a flag for either one, because it's all, they're on different roads, but they're going to the same goal. So that's going to be something that I would love to. That's a stream that I want to do. I've started working on it. It's just that it's just not it's very complex. But then when you see, it even shows power sources. It shows fuel versus the electric power. You've got the fuel. It's almost like it's showing you what the world economy is going to look like, and the voices that are going to control that. You'll see fuel diagrams in there. You'll see symbol fuel icons. You'll see electric vehicle, electric volt kind of icons in this particular graphic that I'm going to show you. Actually, it's actually, there's a lot that can be interpreted from it. But I guess it's going to be an in-studio stream that I'm going to do. But it's definitely it's showing you the red, the blue, the black, the white. But it's representing, it has representation of icons for currency, for power, fuel power, electric power sources. It shows the left wing, the right wing. It shows the international leaders are represented in there. And as a matter of fact, that might be so. I will definitely do it this week. I don't know if I can do it today, but definitely this week. I want to show it to you, and I'd love for you guys to chime in on it yourself. I mean, I don't see a lot of numbers in there, but I'm saying decoding something like that. Yeah, it just seems like that's just the way that things that we might need to. I mean, who knows? For crying out loud, if there's this alleged debate that's supposed to be between TRUMP and BIDEN, who knows? They might not have the regular moderators for the debate. It might be AI. The AI may be controlling the freaking, doing the moderation for the debate, the mediation for the debate. I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is what's going to come from this graphic that I want to show you from The Economist. I'm definitely going to put it up there so you can see it. And I'll probably enlarge the screen so that you can see all the details. But I don't know. You definitely have a full circle. In some ways, it kind of looks like a brain. It looks like the quadrants. There are 4 quadrants almost of the brain. But in another way, it looks like a circle. But to be honest, it kind of looks like an eclipse. Like the black and the white shadowing, like almost creating like an X. Like, I'm telling you, that eclipse, that whole eclipse thing to me revealed a lot of things. And a lot of things have come about since that eclipse had happened. So I'm interested in sharing that with you guys, and I'm going to certainly put the People's Pendulum out. So if you would like to chime in on that, you can. And maybe this is a great time to do it. It might be a great time for me to go ahead and do that, because I'm not, like I said, place. And then of course it's, the whole energy source, whether you're doing electric or whether you're doing, fossil fuels. Those things are going to remain in the debate. So we'll see how it comes out. The currencies, I do think I read, I'll have to look it up for sure, how much closer are we to a CBDC here in the States? Because I think this current administration is moving, while they're distracting everybody with the P did it scandals and scams. They are making real moves today behind. Let's see. Gary Gage says AI is to the point now that it is promoting itself. Yes. And when did I hear that warning? Well, I think it's probably, yeah. To me, it seems to be like a level of, that it's already gotten a level of consciousness. I mean, because if they've already started bringing it into actual council meetings, it's coming to higher offices. It's gonna go to the federal level. I remember, covering something on, the AI Bill of Rights, and I mean, who trusts these people to do any of this? I mean, who did they ask? Who did the government ask? Did the government ask the people what role did they want? Do they want that kind of? To me, it's the same kind of evil being perpetuated. It's still going to be the same people. The same people that are creating it are the ones that are loading it with information. It's also going to load it. If it's being programmed by man, it's going to be loaded with biases. There's no way. There's no way. And who wants that kind of power? And who's going to have that power? What think tank is creating it? So yeah, but I just wanted to, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Gary Gage, Real Mad TV, and I'm not sure, David, and But Why. If you guys are new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I always say, if you're a voyeur, if you're not sure if you drop it by or not, I appreciate you for coming by, for considering it or whatever. But yes, so I think I'll bring that to you. If I have time, I will do it today. I will bring it to you today. I don't think there's no time like the present, right? But yeah, I do think that first debate allegedly is coming up next month, the TRUMP versus the BIDEN. Plus, I did watch a couple of things came out last week in which, of course, Biden is, of course, taking questions from the press, which he really does. Yeah, okay, the rules of like, well, you got to softball me or give me all questions, the pre-submitted questions. So yeah, I did watch that, and so I mean, it's just it's cantankerous, and it's just kind of, it's just, I don't know, it's blithering, it's blithering, bizarre. I mean, no one, if anyone actually thinks that he's doing, I'm not saying a good job, I'm saying a convincing, who is he convincing with his leadership, or with his ability to even, take a press conference? And they put KJP up there every week to tell you how clear he is. I can think of a lot of words, but clear is just not the one that comes to mind. Clarity is not what comes to mind when I think about what I see from him, what I hear from him, and just about all of the people that get up during these press conferences, along with KJP, they speak the same language. Oh, he wants to build an economy from the middle up, the bottom up, middle out. They're all just parroting the same things. What does that even mean? With the amount of inflation, what are you building? You're building something. You're tearing things down. But you're building on inflation is what you're doing. You're not building it. You're not building anything. It's just I'm just saying, there's nothing. Clarity is not what comes to mind. You've been so clear that you're unclear. That you clearly keep saying that you're clear. You can say that, but it's just, to me, it's just canned answers over and over and over again. I swear, from week to week, you could probably replay the press conferences, and it wouldn't be very much different than the week before. The only thing that's going to be different from her response is going to be, I don't know, she might pick a new word to repeat over and over again. That's what she does. But honestly, it's just like she's just stumbling over her words, making things up as she goes along.
In half a mile,
keep left to stay on I-65 South.
So yeah, she just makes things up as she goes along, and that's not exactly, to me, it's like she's not prepared. She's like, okay, so when did you decide to read? Honestly,
keep left to stay on
I-65 South.
You can't quite come up with, you can't kind of come in on politics like that, especially not international.
Continue on I-65
South for 21 miles.
You can't come up with canned answers overnight, like a horrible, you can't crash prepare for those meetings, because all it does is show she really has no idea what's going on. She doesn't. You can tell she has no hit. She can't draw on history. She can't even draw on the 2016 election. She can't. She's just being fed. I don't know who's preparing those notes for her, but those notes are useless. She spends all of her time looking down, head up, eyes down all the time. I mean, I'm just saying, and like I said, to all the people that want to come out here and whine about, she's black, no, look, you cannot convince me that she was the most qualified, because I'm telling you, you just can't. It wasn't based on traditional qualifications for even public speaking. I mean, if she just took a class in 101, public speaking 101, I mean, to me, it's very poor. It's very poor representation, and it's a slap in the face to anybody that did take a public speaking class to say, Oh, that's the way you respond to people? You talk down to a podium, your eyelids are down. I mean, I swear, like, she just bats her eyelids so much, you're gonna have a dust storm with the amount of fluttering of her eyelids that she does. It's just such a mockery of things. Like, things just don't, the standard for anything. I mean, how low of a standard do you have? Did you just set precedence for a low standard? Like, you're rewriting standards, whether you know it or not. And I'm just, like I said, it's not, there's no convincing in these speeches that she makes, nor the ones when he decides to take a few questions. A few, and that's a stretch. A few questions. So I really appreciate you guys so much for burning a whopping 31 and 55 minutes with me. But I mean, this daytime and hour, I pretty much endure the KJP press conferences rather than have you guys endure that. I do the work. I do the heavy lifting on the press conferences. That's what I do. All right, guys. I will check back with you later. All right, guys.